From Messi scoring with his hand to a player tackling himself, these are football players caught cheating. And first, Cristiano Ronaldo embarrassed himself in front of a whole stadium.
That's pretty good acting. That is pretty good acting.
While the referee was trying to arrange the Slovenian wall, CR7 continued to move the ball forward. Unfortunately, the referee saw him and said, "No, move the ball back, you cheat."
You can't be serious. No. I think the referee's going to say the same. Just making it more difficult for you.
Opening, and they might do it to corner!
But at number 34, a player tried passing the ball with his hands. During a match between Poland and Denmark, Robert Lewandowski missed his chance in front of the goal. But with everything on the line, he single-handedly assisted his teammate's goal. In the dying minutes of a thrilling derby between Fenerbahce and Beşiktaş's women's teams, a Beşiktaş player headed the ball out of the goalkeeper's hands before shooting the ball into the net. The Fenerbahce ladies angrily confronted the referee, but instead of punishing the player for cheating, she awarded the goal due to a dubious loophole in the rules.
Oh my God. Hell no.
Normally, I wouldn't blame the ref for this, but then I remembered the time an Arsenal player started undressing his opponent. During a match between Arsenal and Tottenham, Arsenal's Ben White was caught on camera trying to undo the goalkeeper's glove while waiting for a corner kick. While this looked like a silly prank, it distracted the keeper long enough for Arsenal to score the goal.
Saka's corner, but the Spurs, they're just giving the ball away. And it's in! It's gone into the back of the net and Arsenal celebrates! I reckon that could have
But if you think this is bad, wait till you see what Messi did at number 31. In a match between Barcelona and Getafe, Lionel Messi scored what seemed to be a legitimate goal. But when everyone rushed to the referee in protest, it became obvious the GOAT had cheated.
Wait a minute.
The replay showed Messi clearly scoring with his hand. But instead of canceling the goal, the referee shamefully allowed it. But to think, this is just 5 out of the moments we've got lined up. You're in for some shocking surprises. Still to come is Neymar's unstoppable penalty and a goalkeeper destroying the pitch. But before we get to those, let's look at a player who was tackled by ghosts.
Now this one might surprise you. You see,
with Juventus behind in their Champions League match against Real Madrid, Arturo Vidal was desperate to get his team back into the game. Still, instead of trying to score, Bro tackled himself and had the nerve to ask for a penalty.
Oh my God. Hell no.
Oh dear, when he sees the replay, I think he's going to...
But at number 29, Kamal Roofe turned into prime LeBron James. In a match between Leeds United and Nottingham Forest, Leeds knew that only a win would keep them top of the championship table. But after just 11 minutes, Forest went into the lead through Jack Robinson's header. Leeds threw everything to try to get an equalizer, but the resolute defense of Forest kept them out. Then, in the 82nd minute of the game, Kamal Roofe took matters into his hands. Literally. That was the clearest handball ever. But after consulting his assistant, the referee gave the goal. But at number 28, Raheem Sterling turned into an Olympic diver. During a Champions League match between Shakhtar Donetsk and Man City, Raheem Sterling pulled off one of the most disgusting dives in football history. Bro literally tackled himself to win his team an undeserved penalty.
No! God, please, no! No!
But it seems Shakhtar can't catch a break from cheats.
I don't know, listen, he's not blaming Sterling. He's not trying to win a penalty. Just what he would say, but he made a hash of it. It was quite embarrassing.
Because a goat did something similar against them. In a 2015 Champions League match against Madrid, a Shakhtar defender put his body on the line to block Cristiano Ronaldo's shot. Now we can all see that the ball struck the defender's back, but Ronaldo saw a hand and protested to the referee for a penalty. The ref, who probably had pictures of Ronaldo in his room, gave the penalty without even thinking twice.
But Ronaldo with a chance to make it 2-0 now for Real. Was there ever any doubt?
The poor really have no chance against the rich and powerful. But sometimes the tables turn, like the time Crouch cheated against Arsenal. With his team already losing to Arsenal, Stoke City's Peter Crouch met a perfect cross from the left leg and guided the ball into the Arsenal net.
Oh, it's a goal! And it's that man Crouch who scored it to give Stoke City hope. Oh, it's a handball. Oh, it was.
While this looked like the perfect header, Crouch used his hand to score. And since the referees didn't spot it, he celebrated as if nothing had happened. But at number 25, a Chelsea legend deployed far more clever techniques to cheat his opponents. In the 2016 Champions League round of 16, Chelsea visited Galatasaray, confident that their superior team would get the better of their Turkish opponents. This assumption proved accurate, as Fernando Torres gave the Blues a deserved first-half lead. But in the second half, Galatasaray improved and deservedly scored the equalizer. The goal gave them confidence as they mounted wave after wave of attack. Seeing that his team was about to concede a goal, Chelsea captain John Terry threw a second ball onto the pitch, denying the Turkish Giants a historic victory. But if you think this is bad, wait till you see what Van Dijk did at number 24. After conceding a penalty against West Ham, Liverpool captain Virgil van Dijk messed with the penalty spot to try to give his team an advantage. After doing his part, the goalkeeper completed the job by saving Jared Bowen's penalty. But if Van Dijk can get away with this, you better believe Marwin Hintz will be doing the same thing.
Hintz makes the save. It stays 0-0.
After his team gave away a silly penalty, Hintz knew all hope was on him to stop that ball from going in. So with the referee's attention somewhere else, Hintz did this.
Scored it to give Stoke City hope.
Just watch what Hintz is doing here. He's just trying to kick up the ground a little bit by that penalty spot.
Hits makes the save. It stays 0-0. Modeste went for that corner and he slipped.
With that much damage, the striker had no chance and subsequently slipped and missed.
Modeste went for that corner and he slipped.
War nicht so schön, wenn man es im Nachhinein sieht, aber in so einem intensiven Spiel mit so hitzigen Zuschauern macht man manchmal Sachen, die man für sich nicht kennt und ja, klar, ich würde es nicht mehr machen.
However, Hitz isn't the only goalkeeper to fall to the dark side. During a match between Feyenoord and Twente, Feyenoord goalkeeper Justin Balo knew he had messed up when he rushed out from his box to clear a loose ball. But instead of taking the L, he threw a second ball onto the pitch to stop the quick counter. After cheating, he still had the nerve to complain to the ref that he was hit with a ball.
Oh my God. Hell no, man.
But the case at number 21 shook the entire world of women's football.
The men's game is embarrassingly cynical. The crybabies dive and pretend to be injured. Women's football is way more hardcore.
During an Asian Women's Cup qualifying match, Iranian goalkeeper Zohre Kodai pulled off two magnificent saves to grant Iran a historic appearance at the tournament. But while they celebrated, their opponents, Jordan, were left with a bitter taste in their mouths. They wrote to the Asian Football Association to accuse the Iranian goalkeeper of this.
It wants the Asian Football Confederation to conduct a gender verification probe. This debate concerns the gender of an Iranian player. The person you see behind me, her name is Zohre Kodai. Jordan has now accused her of being a man. She helped Iran defeat Jordan in a qualifier match.
What? After they pointed it out, it's hard not to see their point when you look closely at how the goalkeeper walks. But because the Iranian women's team wears hijabs to play, it's hard to tell who's telling the truth and who's lying. But even such a crazy story couldn't break into our top 20. That's because we've got an Oscar performance by Neymar and a footballer turned vampire still to come. But before we get to those, let's look at one of the most controversial penalties in football history. Before Neymar signed for Barcelona, he was one of the most exciting players on the planet. His skills, tricks, and flicks made fans tune in to the Brazilian league from all over the world. But what made him go viral was his controversial penalty style. Whenever he got a penalty, he would run up, pause, and wait for the keeper to dive before slotting the ball in the other direction. This looked cool at first, but after he scored 5 straight penalties without any goalkeeper even sniffing the ball, FIFA summoned an emergency meeting. No! They reviewed the style and agreed that it was unsportsmanlike and banned it. But Neymar wasn't going down without a fight. He discovered an even more dramatic way to cheat. I'm gonna lose my shit! During a match between PSG and Gamba Osaka, Neymar fell under a challenge in the penalty box. As expected, the referee gave the penalty. But once the replay was shown, it became obvious that this was an Oscar award-winning dive by the Brazilian.
Neymar.
Bro imagined himself being tackled and threw himself to the ground like he'd been hit by a truck. But the player at number 18 almost relegated a team with his antics. With a few matches left in the 2017-2018 Premier League season, Southampton were 16th on the table, with only a point above the relegation zone. So when they visited Watford for a match, they knew only a win would help them in their fight against relegation. The match couldn't have started better, as James Ward-Prowse scored twice to put Southampton in the driver's seat.
Onside. Now Ward-Prowse. 2 for him and 2 for Southampton.
But when the second half resumed, Watford came out swinging and deservedly scored a goal. They kept mounting the pressure on their opponents. Then, in the dying minutes of the game, Doucouré did this.
Pereira. Dini. Doucouré! Level in the last minute. Arturo Vidal with his 7th goal in the Premier League season.
The way he palmed that ball, you could swear he was a basketball player. But despite the protests by the Southampton players, the referee allowed the goal to stand.
What the hell?
Speaking of Southampton, the club was the center of the biggest football scandal in 1996.
Playing for Southampton, which was, pretty unbelievable at the time.
Their manager, Graham Souness, received a call from George Weah, the FIFA World Player of the Year at the time. George personally recommended Ali Dia to him. He told Souness the guy was his cousin and pleaded that he be given a chance. Hearing that Dia was George's cousin, Souness felt butterflies in his stomach. What if he turned out to be like George? But after one training session, it became evident that Dia didn't have the same abilities as his famous cousin. However, Southampton was experiencing an injury crisis, and with no senior striker available to play, Souness tried him out in a Premier League match. Yet again, Dia performed badly. The club then reached out to George, and to their surprise, he didn't know who Dia was, nor did he make that phone call to Souness.
Now this one might surprise you. You see,
however, Dia still stuck to his story, despite the obvious evidence against him.
He told me that George ring him and said that I'm a good player. I'm not afraid to tell that I'm a good player. I can prove that. I'm going to prove that.
So George Weah did ring Graham Souness?
Personally, like I told you, I don't really know.
But in reality, it was all a big scam. He had conned his way from a local club, Blythe Spartans. Even his old manager couldn't believe what had happened.
Next thing I knew, I was watching him on Match of the Day and watched him playing for Southampton, which was, pretty unbelievable at the time.
Maybe Zarelli thought that if Zarelli's his real name, that he could go that far, and maybe thought that he could do the same sort of thing.
But while Dia lied to get on the top, an American footballer cheated the same players who tried to help him. During a match between Rangers and Patrick Thistle, American player Malik Tillman fell injured after overstretching his leg. With the player needing treatment, his teammates put the ball out of play. With play resuming under fair play rules, Harry Milne threw the ball to his teammate, who planned on kicking it to the Rangers' half. But before he could do that, the same Tillman who was injured intercepted the ball and went ahead to score.
Picked up an injury in the process.
They probably think that would be a yellow card, but because the game can't be re-refereed, then he can't get it wrong.
A mistake from Hull. Tillman played through, round the goalkeeper.
This violated fair play rules. So to resolve the issue, Rangers manager ordered his players to allow Thistle to score uncontested.
He's going to run through on Alan McGregor, unchallenged. If he can beat the Rangers goalkeeper, eventually he does. It's 2-0 at Ibrox Stadium.
However, this wasn't the only time something like this happened. In a Champions League tie between Shakhtar Donetsk and FC Nordsjælland, the referee stopped the game after a player got injured in the face. When play was about to resume, the referee asked the Shakhtar players to return the ball to their opponents. But when William kicked it back to the goalkeeper, Luis Adriano intercepted the ball and scored.
In the moment of huge controversy, Donetsk
returned the ball to their opponents following a break for injury, but Luis Adriano chased the ball down and scored.
Ball's dropped. Willian pokes it back there. Well, no, that is terrible. I'm sorry. Shame on you, Luis Adriano. You do not do that.
But even this show of shame is nothing compared to a player who turned into a vampire. During a match between Ajax and PSV in 2010, a fight broke out between the players. But while everyone was pushing and shoving, Luis Suarez decided to take a bite.
Domme overtreding. En dan hebben Suarez en Bakal het nog met elkaar.
Bakal couldn't believe what had happened, and this craziness resulted in a 7-match suspension for the Uruguayan. 3 years later, Suarez was at it again.
Sunk his teeth in there, I think. That's what it looks like, anyway.
This time, he was handed a 10-match ban. Surely he must have learned his lesson. But the demons of the past came out again during the 2014 World Cup.
Well, he headbutted him there, didn't he? Luis Suarez appeared to move his head.
He somehow escaped without getting a red card.
Did Suarez apologize?
Of course not. He behaves in a f***ing way, and FIFA allows him to do so because they need the champions to play. They don't have the courage to make the right decisions.
But after FIFA reviewed the footage, they decided enough was enough. They suspended Suarez from all football-related activities for 4 months. He also got a 9-match international ban and was fined 100,000 Swiss francs.
Luis Suarez is suspended for 9 matches and banned for 4 months from any football-related activity.
But while Suarez was punished for biting, a player got a red card for faking an injury. In a match between Ajax and Feyenoord, Ajax were doing everything they could to hold on to their slim lead in the game. With a few minutes left, Antony tried clearing the ball and suddenly fell like a sack of potatoes. It was the most obvious case of exaggeration, but the Ajax player kept up his act. He tried standing up, but his teammate pushed him to the ground to further waste time. When the referee was tired of his antics, he sent him off for an early shower. But at least he only tried to waste time, unlike the next player who cheated an entire country. In the 2010 World Cup qualifier between France and Ireland, everyone expected the French to make light work of their less illustrious opponents. But as the match started, Ireland's Robbie Keane scored an early goal to give the underdogs a chance. France threw everything at them, but Ireland remained resolute nonetheless. Then, with a few minutes left to play, Thierry Henry showed up at just the right time to give France the lead.
Trying to measure it. Richard Dunn last night. Oh, it's in the net. It's a goal.
The replay showed it was a clear handball. But despite their protests, the goal stood and France qualified for the 2010 World Cup. Still on controversial handballs, Real Madrid pulled off the ultimate heist against Minnows Almeria. Almeria shocked everyone when they rushed into an early 2-0 lead against Real Madrid. It looked like one of those days when things didn't favor the bigger team. But with their backs against the wall, Real Madrid summoned their refereeing department. First, they were awarded a penalty. After they scored, Almeria went on the attack and scored a third goal, which VAR controversially ruled out. Then, a few minutes later, Vinny Jr. scored with a hand, but somehow VAR misplaced their glasses. To put the icing on the cake, Real Madrid went on to grab the game's winner with a few seconds left to play. But even such corruption couldn't make it into our top 10. That's because we still have the biggest betting scandal and Mourinho cheating to come. But before that, Barcelona's famous remontada wasn't what we all thought it was. In 2017, PSG shocked the world when they beat Barcelona 4-0 in the first leg of the UEFA Champions League round of 16.
It up the field. This is the sort of position they get into to go.
With such a huge lead, everyone wrote Barcelona off, and rightfully so. But as the second leg of the tie started, Barca rushed into an early 2-0 first-half lead.
It's scrappy, it's in the net! Iniesta wins the ball back heel, it's in the net!
However, they still needed to score 2 more goals and hope PSG didn't score, which seemed unlikely. Then, in the second half, Barcelona were awarded a controversial penalty.
Neymar goes down, it'll be a penalty! Steps up, hits it into the net! And it's
a few minutes later, PSG were denied a penalty from this challenge. Regardless, PSG scored to all but kill any hopes of a comeback. That's when Barcelona activated Plan B. Luis Suarez dived to earn another cheap penalty before Roberto scored in the last minute to complete the robbery.
Neymar steps up. It's in the net! Neymar! Neymar! That's made It's in the net!
However, Barcelona has a tendency for cheating opponents, because in 2010, their player lied to gain an advantage. After losing the first leg of the Champions League semifinal, Barcelona needed a dominant performance to overturn the deficit against a strong Inter Milan team. With the Inter defense proving stubborn, Sergio Busquets exaggerated his fall when Thiago Motta's hand touched his face. He was screaming in pain like he had been stabbed, but it was all a lie.
I think it was a flat hand. Card, red.
He was even checking to see if the referee had bought his theatrical performance. And without fail, he sent off Morata. Unfortunately for Barca, they were up against a team coached by Jose Mourinho. They parked the bus and held on for a famous victory against Barcelona.
And Jose Mourinho's moment has come again. A special success for the special one. Victory over the reigning champions, whose anthem.
But at number 8, a defender invented a new dribbling technique. Seeing that he was about to lose the ball in a dangerous area, West Brom's Jonny Evans used a technique never seen before to evade his marker.
Once in range, with West Brom defending as deeply as they have been.
Hats off to him for creativity. However, what the player at number 7 did was straight up embarrassing. During a match between Atletico Madrid and Elche, Alvaro Morata led his teammates on a counterattack. But just as he took his shot, an Elche defender blocked the ball, sending Morata tumbling down. While he was trying to look for a penalty, the ball bounced into the net.
Morata leaves the defender for dead. Morata, left foot is short.
Realizing the ball had gone in, the way Morata reacted was worthy of an Oscar.
Morata quickly gets up to celebrate.
But if you think this is embarrassing, wait till you see what Mourinho did at number 6.
Okay, stupid.
With Real Madrid already through to the knockout stages in the 2010 Champions League, Jose Mourinho devised a cunning way to give his team an advantage. During the match against Ajax, Mourinho ordered Xabi Alonso and Sergio Ramos to both get a red card. First, it was Alonso, who wasted time until the referee sent him off.
The referee was telling Real to take the free kick. Okay, stupid.
Ramos did the same thing and was also sent off.
Well, Sergio Ramos is also on a yellow card. Now, I'm not suggesting that he's trying to get himself sent off here for time wasting as well, but it would help clear his slate. This is just bizarre. Alonso sent off. Now Ramos sent off. He shakes the hand of the referee, and I just wonder whether UEFA will have something to say.
Since the last group match was an inconsequential tie against Minnows Auxerre, Mourinho cleared his players' yellow card hauls before the start of the knockout stage. However, as creative as this was, UEFA wasn't happy about it.
No! I'm gonna lose my shit!
They fined the players €20,000 each and the club €120,000, and Mourinho received a one-match touchline ban, which he didn't seem to care about. But now that we've made it to our top 5, get your popcorn ready, because things are about to take a dramatic turn. Starting with Rivaldo's shameful display at the 2002 World Cup. In a match between Brazil and Turkey at the 2002 World Cup, the Turks surprised everyone by taking the game to their star-studded opponents. With no way to break them down, the Brazilians turned to the dark side. While standing towards the corner flag, a Turkish defender kicked the ball into Rivaldo's thigh. But since the ref wasn't looking, the Brazilian fell to the ground like he had been shot. He kept holding his face and screaming in pain, forcing the referee to send the defender off. This gave Brazil the advantage, but Rivaldo was heavily criticized for shamelessly cheating. To make matters worse, FIFA launched an investigation into the matter and subsequently fined the player $5,000. But when you thought it couldn't get any worse, Ciro Immobile's performance at number 4 is worthy of an award. In a match between Italy and Germany, Italian striker Immobile fell to the ground desperately trying to get the referee's attention. But while he was displaying his acting skills, his teammate Nico Barella scored a wonderful goal. With everyone wheeling away in celebration, the same Immobile who had been rolling in pain miraculously became well again. But while this was all fun and games, a player was caught betting against his own team.
Ivan Toney made 13 bets on his own team to lose in 7 different matches between August 2017 and March 2018. Toney was not in the squad or eligible to play in any of those matches. Now, psychiatry expert Dr. Philip Hopley, who was part of the investigation, said Toney had a clear history of gambling addiction.
But that wasn't all.
Brentford striker Ivan Toney has been charged by the FA with misconduct in relation to alleged breaches of the FA's betting rules. It's alleged that he breached the rules 232 times.
Damn! Betting against the team you play for 232 times? Bro really hated his club. However, the English FA didn't care about his emotions and banned him from playing football for 8 months.
People that know me know how I am and know what I'm about. And the fact is, like you said, majority of football teams now sponsored by gambling company. Yeah. So it's kind of like, wait it up. Like, that's the rules. Don't be betting. Yeah, you shouldn't be betting.
But after he returned from his suspension, Toney was back to another form of cheating again. While standing over a free kick, Toney noticed the referee's attention was somewhere else, so he did this.
Look at him. Am I okay? Look at him. If it goes round me, it's not going to be a problem.
Bro said, F your spot, I'm creating my own. However, because the wall also didn't notice he had repositioned the ball, it gave him the advantage to blast the ball into the net. But now, it's time for the worst cheat in football history. In the 1986 World Cup final between England and Argentina, the tension in the stadium was so intense it could have boiled an egg. This match was deeper than football. The two countries hated each other, and rightfully so. But as the match started, both teams knew they had to win this one for their people. The first half passed without any meaningful action, but as soon as the second half began, Argentine star Diego Maradona took matters into his own hands. Quite literally.
Maradona just walked away from Huddle then.
Immediately after the ball entered, the English players swarmed the referee in protest. But with no VAR in place, the goal stood. After the game, pictures of Maradona cheating surfaced, triggering another fresh set of protests.
He said it was the hand of God. I said it was the hand of a rascal.
No, it's not cheating. He knew he'd cheated, and the hand of God was the biggest load of nonsense of all time, and just added to the irritation.
I couldn't reach it, and Shilton was already there, so I couldn't head it, so I did like that.
Maradona just walked away from Huddle then.
Fans insulted him, called him a cheat, and even sent death threats. But when the villain was asked about the incident, he said, "A little with the head of Maradona, and a little with the hand of God."
It was your hand or the hand of God?
For me, man. It was my hand. I go out shouting goal, and I look behind me to see whether the referee took the bait, and he had. So that was it. Come on, it was a goal.
But as crazy as this was, it's nothing compared to Zlatan's 40-meter bicycle kick and Ronaldo fighting with an opponent. Click on the next video to see the craziest moments in football history.